Right, just getting to the campground. It's gonna be my first time winter camping, and I'm out here kind of celebrating spring, even though we still are covered under a few feet of snow. I upgraded my sleeping bag. This one I'm gonna be trying out is rated for 10 degrees, which is kind of looking at how they come up with that figure. And I think between layering that one and my regular just lightweight bag, I think I'll be pretty comfy tonight. It is beautiful right now. It is sunny and about 45 degrees. It's supposed to get down into the high teens tonight. Forecast said 17, so I'm planning, to be prepared as if it's a little colder than that. But I'm going to be setting up a hammock and a winter sleeping bag and a kind of a hammock tarp. Hopefully keep the frost off me. But with any luck, it should be a beautiful evening. I'm going to set up camp, get out on the ice, do a little bit of ice fishing here. And with any luck, we'll have a beautiful sunset and maybe even some northern lights. We had some aurora last night. Kind of all over the Midwest, people were seeing it, and it definitely was good up here. I didn't really get to see it that much because I was actually busy packing and doing other things, and a little hard to see from my house with all the other light pollution, but really hoping that there's another show tonight, so fingers crossed. I'm deciding to skip the little tarp cover thing. My head's gonna be pretty well protected. I brought a face mask, a balaclava, lightweight, and it's not supposed to snow or rain or anything, so I want to get out on the ice, get fishing. I'm gonna have to gather up some firewood later. Not bad. If this thing tastes half as good as it looks, I think we're in for a real treat here. Got some Bell's Oberon in celebration of the first week of spring. Cheers. Well, I think my first winter camping trip was a success. I stayed warm. I actually, at the beginning of the night when I set up, I had my hammock and my 10-degree sleeping bag, and then I had that layered inside, just my regular, like, lightweight sleeping bag. I don't know what it's rated for, like maybe 40 degrees or something. And then I had a comforter. And I spent the first hour, probably, I climbed in trying to fit myself all the way inside the mummy sleeping bag, the warm one, and get the hood, over my head. And it was really difficult. I don't think the hammock I have is set up for having a sleeping bag inside of it. It's definitely more of a summertime thing, especially with the bug netting. So I'm gonna have to rethink that. Once I got in, I was too hot, and I have these alpaca wool socks, and my feet were just bothering me, and I was fidgeting, and I had to take my socks off, and I had to take the lightweight sleeping bag off and the comforter, and just be inside the cold one. Well, I woke up sometime in the early morning, 3 a.m. or something, and I was a little bit cold, and so I had to
climb back out of the hammock, layer myself inside the one sleeping bag, get back in the other sleeping bag. And what I eventually did was I laid the comforter out on the ground, so I had a dry, warm place to stand. And I climbed inside Mummy's sleeping bag, standing up, and got the hood over my head and everything. And then I climbed inside the lightweight sleeping bag and very carefully kind of jumped my way over without falling on my face and got into the hammock. And that is how I spent the rest of the night. And that was pretty comfortable once I got in. So, did not see Northern Lights. I don't know if anyone did. But it was a beautiful clear sky last night, and I got to watch the sunset across the lake, which was really beautiful. Fishing wasn't my main purpose in going, but it was nice because I was camped like right above the lake. Like the lake was maybe 20 feet from where I was sleeping. You'll see I have a video clip where I'm fishing and I'm getting footage of the sunset, and I had a fish kind of tease me. He came up and hit, just had a dead stick sitting there. And so I go over, there's nothing there. And then I jig it for a minute, comes back, hits it again, starts pulling, doesn't get hooked. And then does it again, same thing. And I had this really tiny little teardrop tungsten jig with a wax worm. And that was it. Didn't see another fish after that. So I fished again this morning and woke up to cloudy skies. I don't think it got as cold as it was forecasted, which was probably good. It's 25 right now, and it's 9:30. So I went out, fished for a little bit, just set up in the same holes I'd been using yesterday. Made some coffee. There was another guy who came out and set up to fish, kind of in the same area, but normally I don't really like to fish right next to people, but I was kind of doing other things and just kind of had my tip up and my jaw jacker out there with a little bell on it. So it was a good trip, and it was kind of a good test run, because I really want to do this more next winter, and get into some more backcountry style, ski in, snowshoe in, camping. So I'm going to have to rethink my sleeping setup. As far as warmth, I don't think warmth was a big concern. Now, if it was going to be a night where it was going to get closer to like 10 degrees or 0 degrees, I don't know that I would even do a hammock at that point. I might want to think about getting a hot tent, which is something on my list. But for hammock camping, I don't know that it works that well with this sleeping bag. I think I could do it again on on a night that's going to be a similar temperature. I think this would work well for like fall camping. If it's going to dip down below freezing maybe at night, but not not really too cold. So to try it again, spring's on the way hopefully, and we're about a month out from the trout opener, so hopefully things keep melting and the waters are open. Look at this stupid lake. Look how stupid it is. We fished that on the trout opener last year and didn't catch a thing, not a single bite.